what do you think we could do in terms of restoring the history now? I know that, of course, what we are doing here is also part of that, no? Is that let's talk about us. History actually starts from the people. It is the people that make history. It is not a philosophy. It's not something that came from somewhere. It is our life, our experience. 30 years from now, 300 years from now, what you and I are talking today will become history because people will be referencing it, will be talking about it. In that sense, the people are the history maker. If that is the case, what do you recommend that we do as a people to revive our history? Of course, it doesn't mean now that we need to return back and start living the way we lived before in 2,000 years old. But we can take the knowledge from there and bring it to the current time, apply technology and everything, but the way that it reflects us. Help me with that.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is I encourage everyone to write their own story, because if you don't, someone else will, essentially. And if everyone, I feel like everyone has a story, first of all. Everyone has a story to tell someone and to share, and that someone can learn from. So I do encourage everyone to write their story and to not be scared to share their story, because there's someone out there listening or going through a similar thing that will encourage them to share their story. So I think that's the most important thing for Africans to realize, is that, you know, we are vital and crucial to our survival, and local knowledge is important. The local knowledge around you from the elders and from each other is vital, right? Like, we can't keep prioritizing foreign knowledge over our own knowledge and our own intuition. We need more people to study our history, study our legal systems prior to what we've been told, because the more people that's doing it, the more pervasive and diverse that this field will become amongst African people. Like I said, I will post this so it can be available to people, but I also encourage people to, again, start with Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of a Black Civilization, because you'll start to learn so much of different ancient civilizations that existed and how they were functioning. Like, he does a very good job of telling you how well structured civilizations were in ancient Africa.
I remember I didn't ask you this one. What do you intend to do with this research that you took about history and law in Africa? What's your objective?
My objective is to teach other people, like, to get people to have access to this type of information. I'm also working on a manuscript right now that I intend on publishing soon. So my goal is to educate the African masses in a way that empowers them and liberates them, and makes them intrigued to ask more questions, and inspires them to want to do more for their community and for themselves, essentially. So that was my goal, to provoke the minds of Africans to say, really? You know?
What is your real satisfaction now you see the work that you have done? I know that in a few years, of course, you will make that publication, but at least get it to where you have got it to here, that is something. So what is your satisfaction? What is encouraging you to continue this project?
Oh, I mean, this is good for my own soul, you know? This is something that I find empowering of myself. And I also feel like it's necessary for other people to have access to this information. And I honestly do it for children. Like, I also, teach young children. And I think that it's important for them to have access to this information because of how deceptive the current education system is where I'm from. So it's important for someone as young as me to be familiar with these types of topics, to introduce it to young children, because I feel like I said, this type of stuff will inspire children to want to learn more, versus some children go to school and they feel uninspired, or they feel like, school is not necessary, or it's a nuisance, or it's obsolete. It's because of what they're teaching in school. So I feel like me knowing this type of information and sharing this type of information with others is impactful. It's impactful work for me. it's empowering for me, and I hope it's just as empowering for other people. And yeah, I was taught this from, previous people, and it empowered me to do the work that I'm doing. So I'm just trying to pass the torch, essentially.
Mhm. Now, looking at the US, where you're coming from, since you be embark on this journey in Africa, have you had the occasion to talk with some of your friends, maybe who are still in US, who you have exchanged idea with, who might maybe are curious about what is going on around you? Okay, I try to understand what they feel about what you are doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because some people are interested, maybe, may ask questions here and there, but some people are like, I feel like in America, people are always so excited. Like, people in different places of Africa, or even like in other places around the world, are always so excited to go to America. But what people don't understand is, like, once you go into America, you're trapped. Like, you're trapped in the matrix, essentially. So people are always stressed out. They're always like trying to prove something to someone. They're always in competition with other people. So I think, honestly, like, when you're in America, like, people are so busy doing whatever they think is going to be best for them in their future, that they don't really like receive this type of information, because people are stuck working for the same machine that oppresses them in America. So it just keeps going, like, a lot of my friends are in university, and they're just learning things that's going to help them get a job that they think is going to make them get paid over six figures, and whatever the case may be. So they're just the oil to the machine. They just keep chugging. So I think it's hard for some people to process this type of information when you're also aiding and abetting the same system that oppresses you, if that makes sense.
For people who want to connect with you, can you share with us how can they connect with you? Use this second for yourself.
Yes, please connect with me via my website. So that's going to be www.moresearch.org. Again, that's going to be www.moresearch.org. Very simple to remember. And then also, if you want to have my social handles, I'm on IG and Twitter as MoreSerp. And yeah, so that's how you can connect with me. I'm also on Clubhouse, so you can find me there as well. Sometimes me and Obehe do Clubhouse calls together if you ever want to be engaged in one of our conversations. So,
as a conclusion of this conversation, which has been about law and history in Africa, which have also been about revitalizing ourselves as human beings, because we cannot continue to pursue the interests of other people. It's a time we start pursuing also our interests. What would be your final statement here to conclude the conversation?
My final statement to everyone is to seek to know thyself. Never stop searching for the truth within, and never acquiesce. In other words, never give in to the enemy. Never give in to your oppressor. Always keep fighting. Liberty or death. Ashe.
That's lovely, Nakasha. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.